In this video, we're going to be discussing the Edinburgh Low Emission Zone. Hello and welcome to Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV. And in this video we're going to take a look at the Edinburgh Low Emission Zone, which comes into full enforcement on the 1st of June 2024. So why not grab a brew, like I have, from McDonald's, and let's go back to March 2022, when the Transport and Environment Committee approved the Low Emission Zone scheme. Following legal processes, the Edinburgh City Centre Low Emission Zone was approved by Scottish ministers on the 19th of May 2022, and it was introduced on the 31st of May 2022. So the ultra low emission zone exists in Edinburgh, but there's a 2-year period of grace before it's being enforced from the 1st of June 2024. Edinburgh City Council want everyone in the city to enjoy a greener city, with cleaner air, healthier people and communities, excellent public transport, active travel options including walking, cycling which are safe, accessible and sustainable. We also want to strive for net zero from transport across the city by 2030. Air pollution is harmful to health for children, older people and people with lung and heart conditions. Why does Edinburgh need a low emission zone? Edinburgh has made good progress in reducing air pollution. However, there is areas where certain pollutants, including nitrogen dioxide, is higher than the legal standard. Road traffic is the main source of harmful emissions that affect health and contribute to climate change. So Edinburgh Council carried out scientific modelling and found that a low emission zone would reduce harmful emissions over the whole city, not within the zone. How does the low emission zone work? Well, it will operate 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. It will restrict vehicles within boundaries based on emissions. It will issue a penalty charge notice to vehicles that do not comply with minimum emission standards. It will be enforced with ANPR cameras at sign-posted entry and exit points. It will apply to all vehicles except those entitled to an exemption, which are the following: blue badge holders, but you have to register your car; historic vehicles, emergency services, military vehicles, showman's vehicles, motorcycles and mopeds. So the boundaries for the Edinburgh Low Emission Zone are as follows, and we'll do a little drive-by of the boundaries. Emission Zone emission standards. Edinburgh Council are following the minimum emission standards for virtually all petrol and diesel vehicle classifications, set out in the Low Emission Zones, Emission Standards Exemption and Enforcement, Scotland, Regulations 2021. Entry into the Low Emission Zone is based on Euro emission engine classification standards that are used both internationally and nationally. The minimum criteria are Euro 4 for petrol cars and vans. These are roughly vehicles registered from 2006. Euro 6 for diesel cars and vans. Again, that's generally vehicles registered from September 2015. Euro 6 for buses, coaches and HGVs. Generally vehicles registered from January 2013. All zero emission cars, including EVs, meet the Low Emission Zone minimum emission standards. Installing the Low Emission Zone. ANPR cameras will be installed at key entry and exit points. There will also be mobile enforcement vans with ANPR to deter the most polluting vehicles entering the ULEZ. Signs will also be installed at entry points before fines start being issued on the 1st of June 2024. Some road junctions, including Toll Cross and Morrison Street, will be changed to allow traffic to move around the city without having to enter the Low Emission Zone. Penalty charges. Initial penalty for all non-compliant vehicles will be £60. This will be reduced to £30 if paid within 14 days. A surcharge will double the penalty amount with each breach of rules detected within the same low emission zone within 90 days. Penalty charges will be capped. This is the maximum amount the fine will be if not paid within 90 days. So £480 for cars and LGVs. £960 for minibuses, coaches, buses and HGVs. These are the capped prices. Funding. If you are a low-income household living within 12 miles of the low emission zone, you may be eligible to apply for a grant for up to £3,000. This includes a £2,000 grant for disposing of vehicles which do not comply with the low emission zone. £500 Travel Better vouchers per adult or £1,000 per household to buy bikes, e-bikes, cargo bikes and public transport tickets. Other support is available for e-bikes, family cargo bikes, adapted cycles, EVs and chargers. So let's take the EV support. You can get a £30,000 interest-free loan to cover the cost of purchasing a used electric car or van. Why used when you can pick up a brand new MG4 for £26,000 or Fiat 500 electric for £22,300? We can see the reason for vans as the cheapest van we found was £31,000. Another question on our mind is what's going to happen to perfectly working non-compliant cars? Are we going to see these crushed or sitting in an airfield just like the scrappage scheme? Or can we see what's currently happening in London? People going around sticking notes on them and saving the cars. Some of these cars could be future classics. Personally for myself, aside from having to enter the zone for work and attending my local Andy's Man's Club, I would rarely enter the city centre. We've got free retail parks all within 20 minutes from my front door, but there's going to be people having to enter the ULEZ zones for work or pleasure, that for reasons can't afford an electric car. There's no way of charging an electric car if they live in a flat. Interestingly, and perhaps another video I may make, is another idea by the council, which is 20-minute neighbourhoods, i.e. stay in your own neighbourhood, walk, shop locally and use public transport. One thing to mention about public transport in Edinburgh and the Lothians is they have a very good public transport system. You can get from one end of the city to the other end of the city quite easily. But the idea of 20-minute neighbourhoods seems to be another attack on the motorist. But I think we'll cover that in another video. So, to sum up, if you want to enter Edinburgh's low emission zones, get yourself a classic car that's compliant. And on that note, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe at Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV, and we'll catch you in another video very soon.